The girl's voice is just iconic, I just have to say it. So in my 20 years of existence, I've only listened to 2 of these band songs my whole life. The first one is called Oo. And a remix of that by Ron Thug.
Alam mo ba yung mga araw na...
And the other one is called Tadhana, which reminds me of the movie Mulawin for some reason. Hello everyone, and today we're going to react to Dharma Down's self-titled album, which is called UDD, But first of all, I'd just like to say a quick thank you to this person right here for suggesting this album for me to react to. Appreciate you big time. I mean, for their album title, I feel like they're the only ones that I know of that names an album after themselves, not on their debut album or like their big break on the industry or something like that, which is pretty unique, not gonna lie. I can respect that. And as far as the album cover goes, I feel like this is them reevaluating themselves almost. Kind of like reflecting on what changed in themselves, both as a band and their journey as like musicians and themselves as a person pretty much. Which is pretty subjective in my opinion and is something that they should tell us in the album, so let's go find out. But before we get on with it, please do not forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell down below so that you guys will be able to stay updated for my future videos. And if you guys would like me to react to anything else, such as songs, music albums, music videos, stuff like that, please feel free to comment it down below as well, and I'll try to do it for you. So let's go listen to it. Since it's here on the screen, I'm just gonna say it. I really appreciate that they're using a lot of instruments on this track. I mean, a lot of bands that I know of usually just use electric guitars, acoustic guitars, drums, bass, and the occasional keyboards now and then. And I mean, it's not like I have anything against that. I mean, if you can make cool music with those, that's cool. So this was pretty refreshing in my opinion. I mean, there's the saxophone.
You're a fool, baby.
The voice of the vocalist here still feels fresh and relevant in my opinion. I mean, even though her voice reminds me of MYMP for some reason, I feel like she could also keep up with the singers that we have today, especially those in kind of like the R&B soul genres. I mean, even though the pitch of her voice is pretty high, it's not screeching or like scratchy in my opinion. In Tagalog, there's this term which we call matinis, like it's not like that, like it's just smooth, or like banayad in Tagalog or something. I don't really know the terms. But yeah, it's pretty cool. This song reminds me of bars or like cafes where people could get gigs and like perform their songs or like covers of other songs from other artists. Well, you could just chill there or like hang out with your friends or like loved ones and stuff like that and just eat. I mean, those were good times, man. For the title of this song, I feel like that's a pretty nice oxymoron in my opinion. I mean, I haven't really thought about associating these 2 words together. I mean, even though the song is jazzy and smooth sonically, I feel like the lyrics of this song is pretty desperate. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I'm just dumb. I don't know if they're trying to break up but they're hesitating, or they're trying to hold on desperately. I mean, aside from that, there's like the sense of confusion as well. They're like pulling and pushing each other for some reason. Relationships should be pretty clear in my opinion. I mean, communication in relationship is important, kids. Don't forget that. And lying being the foundation of your relationship isn't really a good way to go. I mean, you might last for like a couple of months more, but it's not really a good long-term solution to that problem. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, you might want to switch it up a bit. Now, this next track is called Sigurado, or in English, it's like being sure of something. So what that's being sure about, I have no idea yet. So let's go find out. Bass be kicking. I mean, I've heard bits of this song, like tiny snippets here and there on my social media. I just have no idea what the song is called at the time. This song is pretty good. So basically, this song is about courtship, kind of like this person trying to win over the love of this other other person. So the first half of this song is basically the perspective of this girl who's trying to be won over by this guy, or basically nililigawan by this other guy in Tagalog. So yeah, she's pretty hesitant about the intentions of the guy, which in my opinion is pretty reasonable if you've been heartbroken by past relationships. And the second half of this song is basically the perspective of the guy this time, trying to convince or reason with the girl that he's trying to win the love over. But yeah, aside from that, I feel like the bass in this song really carried this whole thing altogether in my opinion. The vocals, still good, especially the bit of the chorus there. And the chorus was a bit faster than the verses in my opinion. But I really enjoyed the whole thing altogether. I mean, the contrast was very nice. And yeah, it's pretty good. Now the third track in this album is called Tambalan, or in English it could be translated as love teams, I guess. I mean, I've only heard of this term on like TV shows in the Philippines, so let's go listen to it. This song's groove and funkiness kind of reminds me of Hello Anxiety by Pom Vipurit. I have no idea how to say that guy's name.
Pum Vipurit.
But yeah, I mean the instrumental of that track kind of reminds me of this one as well. But anyway. So going back to what I've said before, I feel like this song is about love teams on TV shows pretty much. I mean on screen or like on the universe of that TV show, there's basically characters on screen that's kind of like hindering their love or like them being together. And aside from that, there's also the audience or like the people who watch the TV show judging basically everything that the love team is trying to do. And yeah, I mean even though the general theme of this song is basically about love, they were still able to put their own spin on it, which in my opinion is pretty cool. And yeah, I mean with the tracks that we've listened to so far, I really feel like the bass really carries the instrumentals of this songs. Again, pretty great track. Now next track we have Never, which in English is called... Oh wait. The girl's voice is just iconic. I just have to say it. I like the thing she did there. It's pretty good. And yeah, I mean this song is pretty much about breakups and like the aftermath that comes after that pretty much. Bars. Barur. And yeah, I mean I'm pretty sure this topic is pretty explored now when it comes to like the love songs that we have in the Philippines. I mean breakup songs have always been there for like a long time now in the Philippines. Anywhere really, I mean breakup songs were always there in like part of music. I mean the song is pretty good, not gonna lie, but like the content of like what it's trying to say or like the message that it's trying to convey, I mean it's something that's already been said before for like thousands of times or like different kinds of chords and stuff. I mean don't get me wrong, there's like tons of breakup songs out there that's like pretty good to listen to. Now next track we have ANINO or Shadow. Yeah. Now at first I feel like this is another breakup song, but after reading the lyrics this time I feel like this song is about the character, or maybe about the person in the band, or maybe it's about them in general, I don't know. Or they're kind of like dissociating this kind of like bad part of themselves, or kind of like their bad side, which is referred to as like their ANINO, or like their shadow. And there's also this philosopher which is called Carl Jung, which he says that the shadow or like the bad part of yourself, just kind of like your aggression, or like your evilness in a way, or like your bad side within you. He says that it's not something that you should set aside and like just let the good parts of you rule like your overall psyche or like your overall personality. Like your darkness or like your shadow should be something that should be integrated along with that good side of you, so you could become whole or like this best version of yourself pretty much. I mean for example, I mean like your boyfriend broke up with you, so now there's this thought in your head that's like, all men are trash. And now there's this other guy who's trying to win your love now this time. I mean I'm not saying that you should just cast away the dark thought in your head and then just accept that guy's love on the get-go. I mean there's always gonna be that chance that that guy is also gonna end up hurting you because of your naivety. But I'm also not saying that you should completely follow through with the thought in your head and end up rejecting every guy that you meet. I mean all I'm saying is that that part of you is there for a reason, and you should at least utilize it the best as you can, so that you will become a better version of yourself. So yeah. It's another love song. So basically they're kind of like friends at first. So she likes this other guy, then this guy likes another girl, but they both got rejected, so now they're like... Now I'm just making my own assumptions here, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they're not really in love. For the most part, I really feel like they're just settling for each other. I mean, there's always that chance that they're gonna genuinely fall in love with each other eventually, and love is a risk anyway, so who am I to judge? Now next track, we have Say Nothing.
You were right. Does it really matter? Doesn't really matter anymore.
So the main takeaway that I got from this song is the lines, "It's not you, it's not me." So even though it's kind of like a breakup song, it's not like there was only one person or like both of them did something wrong. It's just that they're just two completely different people. Like the compatibility is not really there, and there's really nothing left to do than to just go on separate ways pretty much. And I feel like that's a lot better than not giving it a shot or like the relationship a chance, in my opinion. And aside from that, I feel like it takes a lot of maturity as well to kind of like see that for yourself. Kind of like, there's nothing really wrong with us, we're just fundamentally two different people and we're just like straight up incompatible. Now next up we have Moving On, All the Good Things. Moving on, all the good things.
Taking in orange sunrise, hitting that waist, right to the sunset, and treading this road at a high, breaking way too.
So this song is basically a glow-up song. It's kind of like the sequel to the 5th track in this album, which is called ANINO, or Shadow in English. I thought she's trying to say that she's moving on from all the good things, like she's trying to go away from the good things, which is, I mean, why would anyone do that? I mean, yeah, it's a pretty feel-good song in general, pretty self-reflective. I mean, for the past couple of songs that we've listened to, I feel like this and ANINO is like the only two songs that are self-reflective of themselves. I mean, I feel like the song ANINO represents the low points that they've had in their life, while in contrast to that, this track, which is called Moving On, shows the high moments that they've had in their life. I mean, not that high moment, but you get the gist. And yeah, it's a pretty decent track, very vibrant, very bright, has a sunny feel-good vibe to it. Let's go listen to the next one. Next up, UNTI-UNTI, or Bit by Bit in English. Let's go listen to it. Now, is it just me, or does this song remind you of Tadhana? It's kind of like Tadhana with extra steps. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Yeah, it kind of sounds more fast-paced and it's kind of like in a different key, but it still reminds me of Tadhana. I don't know. For me, this song is about the relationship kind of like dying out of love, or like falling out of love for that matter. But even though it's kind of like that at the end of the lines of the song, there's kind of like this hint of hope there that we're gonna be able to find each other again someday and be in love again and have our relationship stronger than ever. I mean, yeah, that's kind of like a nice message, but also don't hold your breath. I mean, if you do love the person, you are gonna wait for that thing to happen. But if the person's not gonna be like that, I mean, I guess that's what love's all about anyway. It's about taking risks. And yeah, this song reminds me of Tadhana for some reason, especially the beat. It's kind of like dun 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 dun, but more sped up. And like there's certain dictions and like vocal inflections in here. It also reminds me of like how the singer sings certain lines in the song Tadhana. And music-wise, I feel like that's a nice Easter egg as well for like those people who are really into UDD's music. Like,
hey, that song reminds me of Tadhana.
I mean, the character in this song is still hoping that the person that they've broken up with is happy with their lives now somehow, even though the character in this song is hurting pretty much. I mean, that's some selfless love right there, man. I mean, I feel like the most common response when it comes to breakups is that antagonizing like the person that they've broken up with, or like hating that person, trying to like drag them down on like social media or something like that. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool and mature, I would say. And when it comes to the guy,
Shame on you.
I mean, not really. I mean, I don't even know your circumstances in life, so can't really judge. And yeah, I mean, that's what she wrote. Or song. Could go either way. Now for the last track of this album, we have Young Again.
I survived. Call it strategy. Can't wait to be young again. No heart isn't willing to start all over. Love will never end. It's survival.
So what the song was trying to say is pretty much trying to find that love that makes all the things in your life worth it in the end, pretty much. And yeah, I mean, in the beginning of the track, I really felt like it was trying to contribute more on what ANINO as well as Moving On was trying to say in this album, but it kind of went on its own direction as well. But on the other hand, I really felt like them taking this direction when it comes to this track also makes sense. I mean, most of the songs here in this album were pretty much just love songs anyway. So yeah, I mean, this is a pretty nice way to end the album in my opinion. So that was Dharma Down's self-titled album, just called UDD. Now there are some people out there in the Philippines who keep saying that the majority of the songs in the Philippines are basically just love songs, but we cannot really let that take away from what Dharma Down's trying to do with this album, because for the most part, I mean, the album's pretty good. At the first songs of this album, the instrumentals that were used were pretty much energetic. It was very lively, especially the bass. The bass was funky. Then as it progresses down into the 11th track, it just became more mellow, more solemn in my opinion. It almost became like a ballad at some point where like the instrumentals were pretty static and all the thing that was left to notice was the lyrics that was trying to be sung by the singer in this band. And personally, as far as the lyrics of the songs go, I really feel like most of them are basically something that I've already heard before from like other musicians as well. I mean, Tambalan was an exemption from like fictional love teams on TV shows, being able to become aware of like them being watched. I mean, I'll give them props for that creativity, but for anything else, it's just stolen in my opinion. It's just, I mean, it's something that's been done before, that's all I'm saying. And I don't know, I really feel like I'm in that stage in life where like these types of lyrics for like love songs doesn't really hit me that much as it did back then when I was younger. I mean, music wise, some of the songs in here were pretty good, I'm not gonna lie, but when it comes to like message wise and comes to like the content, I really feel like it's something that I've heard before from like other musicians as well. I mean, for the most part, I really enjoyed like the first few songs in this album. They were pretty good, such as Sigurado for example, as well as the more later tracks such as UNTI-UNTI. I think those were pretty cool. It was probably because of the nostalgic factor in the UNTI-UNTI song, but who cares? I'll take it. And as for my expectations in this album, I was way off the mark. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they were gonna go all introspective and like intrapersonal with the content of their songs, but they were mostly just love songs. And yeah, I mean, overall, I really enjoyed this album. I have no idea that they've just released 3 albums all over the decade. I'm pretty sure they've released more than that, but yeah, Dharma Down, UDD, or UD, whatever you call it. So yeah, this is the end of the reaction video. Thank you guys for reaching this far. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed it so that I'll know. And please once again do not forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell down below so that you guys will be able to stay updated for my future videos. So if you guys would like to react me to anything else, you could just comment it down below as well, and I'll try to do it for you. And if you want to watch my other reaction videos, just click these ones right here. It's all good, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!